Welcome to the world beyond imagination. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And enjoy the journey. The air in the jungle was thick, a soup of strange perfumes and hidden dangers, and it pressed down on Kayla with the weight of a coming storm. Her luminous green skin, usually a soft beacon in the twilight of her home, here felt like a target. The blue stripes along her arms and legs pulsed with a slow, anxious rhythm, matching the quick beat of her heart. She crouched by the pathetic heap of gathered fungus and leathery fruit, her feline eyes wide and fixed on the human across from her. "We must be smart, we must be calm," she said, her voice a low melodic tremor in the growing dark. "The food from your metal bird is gone. Scattered or spoiled, what we have gathered here," she gestured to the meager pile, "must last us. We do not know how long until rescue, or if it comes at all. We must ration. We must divide every bite with care." Her words hung in the warm air, a decree of survival. She watched the human, this strange creature called Elias, with his soft, pink skin and his eyes that held no gentle light of their own. He was fiddling with a small, fierce blaze he had conjured from nothing, the fire crackling between them like a defiant spirit. He did not look up at her warning. His focus was absolute. On the 3 skewered parcels he rotated slowly over the flames. They were turning a perfect, glorious golden brown. And a smell began to weave itself into the jungle's tapestry. A smell so rich, so deeply, profoundly good that Kayla's stomach clenched in a silent, painful roar. It was the smell of heat, of crispness, of herbs she did not know, and fats rendered into pure scent. It was nothing like the cool, raw fungi in her pile. "Rationing," Elias said, his voice a calm, flat contrast to her musical urgency, "is a solid strategy. When you don't know how to find dinner." He finally lifted his gaze, and in the firelight, Kayla saw not despair, not fear, but the focused contentment of a craftsman. He pulled one of the golden bundles from the skewer, the surface glistening, steam whispering secrets as it rose. He extended it to her, not on a leaf but on a small, flat piece of clean metal. But, he continued, a faint, almost invisible smile touching his lips. "I already went hunting." Kayla stared, her long, gray-blue braid falling over her shoulder. The bioluminescent streaks on her body flared in confusion. "Hunting? You have been here at this camp. You made the fire, smoked the meat, cooked the sides." He nodded, still offering the gift. "The hunting was done before you even woke from your fever sleep. 2 days ago, when we first crashed, I heard the call of a tikik. Bird in the high canopy. You described it as alarming." Kayla's tail gave a sharp twitch behind her. "The tikik, it is all razorbeak and venom spur. It is not food, it is a nightmare that flies. It is also," Elias said, tapping the golden parcel, "incredibly tender when slow smoked for 18 hours in a pit dug with a piece of hull plating, and then pan-seared in its own rendered fat. I used the herbs growing near the crash site. The purple, frondy ones, you said they were safe." I listened. Her hand, marked with delicate beads and bands, rose slowly. She took the offering. The heat was immediate and comforting against her palm, so unlike the cool dampness of the jungle. She looked from the masterpiece in her hand to the pile of raw, leathery fruit. "This is the tikik. The breast meat?" "Yes. Minced and mixed with some of those tubers you dug up, wrapped in a large, pliable leaf I found by the stream. A dumpling, of sorts. The other 2 are the thigh meat, roasted straight." The aroma finally overwhelmed her. It spoke directly to a primal part of her brain, a part that recognized safety and skill and shocking abundance. She took a careful bite. The world stopped. The crust gave way with a delicate crunch that echoed in her bones. Inside, the meat was impossibly moist, steaming, fragrant with the herbs and its own profound savoriness. It was not just food, it was a revolution. It was a poem written in flavor against the bleak prose of starvation she had been reciting. A sound escaped her, a tiny shuddering sigh that made her own ears flick back in embarrassment. Her luminous stripes blazed a brilliant startled blue. Elias watched, his own serious expression softening just a fraction. He pulled a canteen from his gear, unscrewed it, and poured a slow stream of clear liquid into a second metal cup. And after a main course, he said, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial tone, "There's always dessert." He handed her the cup. Kayla looked inside. Her large yellow eyes widened further. Suspended in the water were small, perfect globes of a vibrant sunset orange. They floated like captured jewels, their skin shimmering. "The sunberries from the clearing," she whispered. "They are too high, too fragile to harvest. They burst at a touch. You have to pick them at dawn, when the dew makes the stem pliable. And you have to use a feather, not your fingers," he said, as if discussing a simple fact of the universe. "A little sugar from my emergency pack. A little water, chilled in the stream. They're a sorbet, or close enough." Kayla looked. From the feast in her hand, to the cup of impossible berries, to the human's calm, dirty face, the warning of starvation died in her throat. It was not just that he had found food, he had transformed it. He had seen this terrifying, lush prison, not as a place of scarcity, but as a pantry, a kitchen, a garden. He had listened to her every word about what was safe, and then he had done things with that knowledge she could never have imagined. He had not just survived for 2 days, he had been living. She took a sip of the berry water. The bright, shocking sweetness, cold and clean, danced across her tongue after the deep, savory richness of the dumpling. It was a perfect contrast, a planned harmony. You were not worried," she stated, her voice full of awe and a dawning profound understanding. "I was terrified," Elias corrected, taking a bite of his own roast. "The crash, the jungle, your injuries, the fear is a constant, like the humidity. But my people, Kayla, we have a saying. In the face of the unknown, we build a fire, we cook a meal. It is how we map the wilderness, by making it familiar, one recipe at a time. It is how we fight the dark." He poked the fire, sending a constellation of sparks spiraling up into the violet twilight, towards the hulking, shadowy skeleton of their crashed ship. "This feast," Kayla said, the word feeling foreign and wonderful in her mouth. "It is your weapon. It is our foundation," he said, meeting her gaze, the firelight now reflecting in his own eyes. "Full stomachs make clear minds. Tomorrow we need clear minds. Tomorrow we explore that wreck properly. We signal for help. We make a plan. But tonight we feast. We remember what we are capable of." Kayla took another, larger bite, letting the flavors cement this new truth. The anxiety that had coiled around her spine began to loosen, replaced by a warm, solid feeling. It was not just the food, it was the shocking, undeniable competence of this fragile-seeming being. He had turned her despair into dumplings and her panic into a perfect, chilled dessert. She looked at the human, truly looked, not as a strange castaway, but as a partner. He had cooked a feast in the heart of the unknown. And in doing so, he had built something more than a fire. He had built a tiny, defiant point of light, and he had invited her to share its warmth. The jungle did not feel so heavy anymore. The night did not feel so endless for the first time. Since the metal bird had torn itself from the sky, Kayla felt not like a victim stranded in a nightmare, but like an explorer on the brink of a strange and terrible wonder. And she would face it, not with an empty stomach and a ration plan, but with the taste of victory still rich on her lips, and a silent burning question in her heart. What other miracles could this human cook? The feast was just the beginning.